Everybody. This is Anna Bobby Klein. I'm the program director at the Center for Women in Business.
I'm Dorothy Politan. I'm the student programs manager at the CWB.
So what we're hoping to do today is share a little bit about what the Center for Women in Business is. It's a very unique place here on campus that we hope you will take advantage of when you're here. We're going to go through and talk about who we are, a little bit about what we do, and then definitely focus mostly on our student programs and answer any questions you may have. I first want to actually say welcome and congratulations at being part of the Bentley community. So we hope we get to meet as many of you as possible. So we're going to start going through a presentation and giving you some background. We actually are now called the Gloria Cordes Larson Center for Women in Business. Just so you know, Gloria Cordes Larson just stepped down as our 16th president? No, not that far, 7th president. And she actually was the person that helped found the center here in 2011 with her frustration at the pace at which women were advancing into leadership roles. So, I'm sorry. I'm trying to control my thing here. Here we go. So let me tell you a little bit about the center. So what we say is we talk about advancing women and workplace diversity from the classroom to the boardroom. What that means is that we work with both corporate partners here in the Boston area to help them foster inclusion, to build programs that focus both on advancing women and advancing all types of diversity at their corporations. At the same time, we are also working with students here at Bentley to help them understand, well, what does it mean to have an inclusive environment? What are the issues that are out there? How can you advocate for yourself and others as you go into the business world, as you become leaders? So, why is this something that we even need to talk about? So I said to you early on that Gloria had established a center focused mostly around her frustration that women weren't really advancing into leadership roles as we really thought they should by this point. But what's really happened now as more and more research has happened, it's not a matter of what is the right thing to do, but that it really makes business sense to have a diverse company. So there's all kinds of statistics out there. You see a few here from reports like the McKinsey reports that talks about the fact that companies are actually more profitable, diverse groups are more innovative, and so to stay competitive, it's important for companies to be diverse and inclusive. So what we do is, oh, I'm sorry, I want to talk to you, I apologize, I want to talk to you a little bit about the situation. So there's a reason that we're doing this, but the situation is that companies are not as diverse as they need to be. This image you're seeing right now is what we call the pipeline. This happens to be focused on gender. McKinsey does this great report every year that talks about women in the workplace and looks at, well, how many women are in the entry level versus in the C-suite, like your CEOs, your CMOs, your and anything at that level. And so, you know, when you go into the companies you'll be entering, whether you're an intern and then when you graduate, the entry level for women is just about 50% as expected. In fact, you know, there are more women graduating from universities now than there are men. It's just slightly over, like 51, 52%. But as you can see from this image, by the time you get to the C-suite, it's down to 20%. And there's all kinds of issues that contribute to this. That are affecting women not getting promoted. So what we want to do is work with both companies and students on how do we improve this, and how do we improve this for women, and how do we improve this across all sectors. So what I wanted to talk to you about really quickly is that we have all kinds of corporate programs, and why this is important for students to understand is that we partner with lots of companies that you will be very familiar with. And they actually come here on campus and work with us, and we also do custom programs and address issues there in-house depending on their specific needs. And so then we leverage these corporate partnerships in our student programs. So we do things like corporate visits, we bring people on campus to talk to students, and that's based on these corporate partnerships that we have developed where we are working with these companies to help them advance. So I talked to you about the fact that we have several student programs, and I think it's very important for you to understand that even though we're the Center for Women in Business, we work with both men and women here on campus. Dorothy's going to talk very specifically about our programs, but the key really is for women, what we're trying to do is build and maintain confidence and competence so that when you graduate, when you go into the workforce, that you're prepared, that you have the tools you need to advance and really persist into leadership. And for men, it's about also being prepared to be leaders and empowering you to be allies, both to women and others. And so this is true for men and women. We talk about allies a lot because it's how do you empower yourself and how are you allies to others to create an inclusive environment. So we really want to focus on what our student programs are because we have both student programs and student groups that we work with, and we want to focus here and give you that background.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Anna. So we have so many opportunities and ways for students to get involved. One of the ways is through our student fellowship. This is a one-semester program for men and women, the sophomores through seniors, but we have many things going on. So this program really takes a look at workplace diversity initiatives in companies. So we invite, as Anna mentioned, executives to come and talk about their careers. It really provides a nice intimate forum for you to be able to ask questions. Nobody got there on their own, so that's such a nice opportunity. And then we go and visit companies, so you get to learn about their corporate initiatives and diversity initiatives at the company, and you get to tour. We also hold roundtables to learn about specific topics such as unconscious bias, men as allies, as Anna mentioned, executive working groups, confidence, the confidence gap, and ways to overcome that. So it's a really great program. Another student organization that you can get involved in is called Men of Alliance. This is a group of male students who are committed to gender equity on campus and are actively supporting female peers in the classroom and in the workplace. So that is open enrollment and open to everyone. Another student organization that is open to everyone is the Bentley Women's Network. So this is a group of students who hold on-campus events to build their skill set and confidence and their networking, because they bring a lot of women professionals onto campus to learn from them, to learn different skill sets. Another easy way to get involved with the CWB is through CWB Connection. This is an easy online form that you can fill out, and we will be emailing out events around to build different skill sets, and so it's a great way to get involved with us and learn a little bit more about what we're doing.
We also have our Women's Leadership Program, which this year we're welcoming 73 women into the program. Those students are selected as part of the admissions process, and that's a 4-year program. And so those women will participate in workshops. They will also do corporate visits. And we are doing exactly what Dorothy said, where we're focused on building confidence and competence. And these are students who already had some leadership experience in high school, and they're continuing to grow throughout their Bentley experience. And I also think that they'll be very visible on campus. We, in addition to these programs, we do campus-wide programs where you'll see us on campus for Equal Pay Day, where you're looking at how long it takes women into the following year to make as much as men do. And so on that day, we're trying to raise some visibility of what is the wage gap for different groups. We also have Women's History Month and International Women's Day, which is in March, and so we have some events at campus. Again, what we're trying to do is help you become aware, and then you also can understand some of our other programs and come participate, because we'd love to have you.
We're also located in La Cava 298, so please stop in to say hi if you have other questions after this webinar.
And I just want to reiterate one thing that I think a lot of students think that we're the Center for Women in Business. We really are open to everybody to participate. We collaborate a lot with the Equity Center and the Multicultural Center to do events on campus. We are always interested in meeting people, having you participate, so please don't hesitate. In our groups, people ask about our Women's Leadership Program. That's really the only thing we have that's part of the admissions process. Everything else is open to everybody. And so please feel welcome to even just come chat with us or join us in any of our programs. So we'd be happy to take any questions or... Maybe we can talk a little bit more about our CWB Connection, which is actually on our homepage right now. You can find a link on it. We just are at bentley.edu /CWB, so it's really easy. And what you can do there is go to CWB Connection if you sign up. What we do during the school year is we send out a bi-weekly, so every other week you get an email from us that highlights events on campus that are our own events, as well as events related to diversity and inclusion, so whether it's a multicultural center event, and we also highlight things going on beyond the Bentley campus. So it's a really great way to sort of stay on top of what's going on. And also for CWB Connections, when we have space available for things like our corporate visits, like last year we went to Liberty Mutual and PwC, we are going to invite you to participate. So I encourage you to sign up. Again, you can find that on our homepage. So I think we have a question. When is it best time to start going to the CWB if I would be interested in pursuing one of those fellowships? Also, what are some of the examples of fellowships in the past students have done?
So the fellowship is for sophomores through seniors in good standing, and I have been in touch usually with students who are interested freshman year, because there are so many opportunities to get involved. We also hold so many corporate events that sometimes we need volunteers, so that's a great way for us to get to know you for the fellowship. And so some of the fellows have gone to Liberty Mutual, Dassault Systems. We've had executives come from all from our corporate partners to come and present and to speak and to make those connections. And usually afterwards, our students, our fellows then sign up for CWB Connection. So that's something you can also be doing now to get engaged with us. Come and meet with me. I'd be happy to talk a little bit more about the fellowship, the program, to just get to know you a little bit better. So those are some great ways to get involved.
One comment about the fellowship is that you do apply, and the application process happens in the fall. So when, as Dorothy said, it's great to get to know us, and then in the fall of your sophomore year, you can actually apply to the program, and decisions are made by December, right?
Yes.
Right. So here. Does the CWB support students with academics or work with academic services? Does it support students with academic? Oh, do we do specific academics? I mean, we don't particularly have anything ourselves, although a couple things I'll comment on. Some professors invite us into their classroom to give an overview. So like we've, and our executive director, Deb Pine, goes in and sometimes gives an overview around diversity and inclusion, so you may see us in a classroom. We also do a lot of work with faculty, like for the Women's Leadership Program, as well as for the fellowship. We partner with faculty to do some presentations for us. So for example, in both programs, we'll do a program on unconscious bias, and the Associate Dean of Arts and Sciences, Wiley Davi, comes in and does a presentation for us. For a presentation around leadership exploration that we do, we bring in the interim dean of business So we're working with faculty in that way. We also, just as an aside, we are actually doing a research study with some faculty members around leadership here at Bentley.
Mm-hmm.
And so as an incoming class, you actually will be asked to participate in this study, and it will help you track your leadership and team skills while you're here. Go ahead, Dorothy. Do you have anything else on faculty?
No, I was just going to say that we work, again, reiterate, we work closely with faculty, and sometimes for classes they'll offer extra credit to come to some of our events as well. So we work closely with them in that capacity.
Actually, I want to highlight, there is, while we have you on here, we do have an event this fall, October 31st, so it's easy to remember, where we are partnering with Bullfinch and doing a sales symposium open to all students. And it's going to be the morning, and they're bringing some sales executives, women here on campus, to talk about their experience and talk about what it means to be in sales.
Mm-hmm.
So for students who are thinking about sales and marketing, or even don't have any understanding of it, it's going to be a fabulous opportunity to spend an hour or two and begin to network. Because we definitely have some events that bring both alums and exec on campus. Mm-hmm. And so beyond, something that Career Services does, it'll have a different focus. You'll have an opportunity to network. Here's another question. How do I get involved in the women's leadership floor?
So the Women's Leadership Community is separate from the Women's Leadership Program. The Women's Leadership Community is a floor just for women. It's about 20 to 25 women. And when you select your housing, that should be an option. You get to, I believe, select your preferences, I think 1, 2, or 3, and then if you are able to, if they select you to get on the floor, that's how you can get on the floor. It's a great community. And we've actually I've known some women who did not get in the community on the floor, but still were able to participate in some of those events. The community is so nice. The RAs are always so nice because the RAs are women who have lived on the floor previous. So they really know about leadership and learning about those sorts of topics.
Our next question, what other types of outreach do you do for the campus, events, fairs, etc.?
So we sponsor a sporting event at least once a year. This year we're going to sponsor a football game. That is going to be October 13th. It's a Saturday. It should be a really fun event. We host a halftime game. Throughout the game we say stats. So some of the stats that Anna had mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, different sort of facts like that. So we hold that. We have usually a table for Women's History Month, and we have these great postcards where you can write to a woman who inspires you. And we'll have candy and tables and displays for that. We also have a display usually at the library, so there are different books that we've selected with the library so you can learn a little bit more. We have 2 aspects for historic women, so books around historic women, and then future leaders. So what you can be doing, different skill sets you can learn. And last year we also had in the RSM gallery, there's this wonderful gallery where they had pictures of women around Bentley, old pictures about women in Bentley. And so we're doing a lot of other things on campus, so we'll definitely be around.
So the one thing you wanted to talk about is the perspective event.
Oh, yes, we do have a perspective event where you bring a partner of a different sexual orientation, race, gender, religion, and you get to have a really wonderful open dialogue around different scenarios that Bentley students have had here on campus. And some of the scenarios are overt, bias. Some of them are more second generation, some sort of bias that you're not quite sure how to handle a certain situation. So what this really does is have an open dialogue about how different people view a situation differently. And so it's really how to walk in walk in another's shoes to see a different perspective. So that's something that we are having in the spring, April 11th.
What other types of outreach? Do you have any collaborations with the sororities?
So a lot of our fellows, women in the Bentley Women's Network are in sororities. So we have a really active sorority group from all of the sororities in our programs. And so the CWB students who are in the sororities have definitely encouraged their sisters to come, their brothers, you know, and sisters from business fraternities to come to certain events. So we definitely work with both.
I wanted to say one thing about, you know, we talk about these various events and, you know, why we exist here on campus. And as a business student, you know, you're going to be going into companies where, you know, companies are going to have programs to try and make the environment more inclusive. But I think part of your role as an intern and then eventually as an employee is what are you going to be doing around creating more diversity and inclusion in your environment? You will get that question often on in an interview. And so I think what you can see us as is an opportunity when you know, getting involved in our program. It's, you know, we're not part of the curriculum, but we're here for you to leverage and learn about what does this mean? What is inclusion? You know, what is it that companies are doing? What are the challenges they're having? What are companies that are actually, if this is something that's important to you, if you look at our list of companies that work with us, you know that these companies are making it a priority. They often also make us aware of their internship programs and things that are going on in their spaces. So see us as sort of a co-curricular opportunity to learn about diversity and inclusion, how you can become more inclusive, and how you can empower yourself. So I would encourage you to leverage those opportunities. I see another question. Does the CWB host any events with Bentley alums? We do actually do some events with alums. And when we have an opportunity to, and we have enough space, we actually invite some of our student groups like the Bentley Women's Network and even the Women's Leadership Community, which is the floor, to come join us. And so it's an opportunity for some networking. So we will be doing that this year as well. If you're part of the CWB Connection, we will actually be reaching out to you to join us in some of those events. So I would encourage you to do that. And so please just be aware, this is the connection. I'm going to mention it again. If you get that bi-weekly email that we talked about, that's how we tell you what's going on and how you can get involved. So I encourage you to do that.
Again, please stop by, say hello, introduce yourself. We are located in La Cava 298. It's a suite. So please come in and say hello. And again, we can talk more about these programs, answer more questions, and there are so many opportunities to get involved.
And you know what, during the first few days that you're here on campus, there'll be one day where you have some time where you can do a variety of things here on campus and explore. And we will be hosting an open house. That's going to be a great time to stop by and get to know us. So please do so at that time. We'd love to meet you.
It's on August 24th from 1 to 4.
Right,
so exactly. Definitely stop in.
Do we have any other questions? I think that's it. All right,
Great,
thank you all.
Thank you.
Enjoy the summer.